want to introduce yourself as well? So you can introduce yourself however you want. Like you can be, I'm Karis, I'm an Aquarius, or whatever you want to say. Like however you, do you know what I mean? Like the title. If your story was a film, what the title would be, kind of thing.
So I'm Sophie Spencer, and it was my journey of accepting my condition and pushing myself in India and walking the Himalayas. So much pressure. I don't know.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, I know. Have a drag and then see what I can.
That's the point.
What I can think of.
Down
Yeah,
and
exactly.
All the good stories,
Yeah.
so I get it.
And because that's what people do, smoke and tell stories and stuff.
We'll just do like a round rough of how I've got I don't know, me. So kind of start. So my sister is severely disabled. She has no communication. She uses sign language. So I've been brought up in a world really unique to everyone else's, and I feel like it's such a privilege. And then one day I was on the school bus, and then I just collapsed. It just happened like that, and then I was struggling to breathe. And then 5 months later, they told me it was glandular fever, but who knows what it was.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, sorry. So I was in year 8, so I was 13. So before that, I was the super sporty person. I played for Arsenal ladies, did netball every single day, gymnastics. I was on the go, never stopping. And then those two, January to February, I think it was 2010, I was in bed. I couldn't walk, couldn't do anything. I was just recovering. And then as soon as I kind of could breathe again, everything was fine. I tried to stand up and I just couldn't. My muscles just waste away over that time. And I started having spasms and no one really knew what was going on. So I got rushed into hospital, and it took 5 months to get diagnosed. I've got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And then
That's what, sorry?
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Which is?
It's a connective tissue disorder. So at the time, I can't really explain my condition. It's a long thing, but it is genetic. No idea who it comes from in the family. But basically, you need to keep up however sporty or active you are, and if you can't, you're the tissue just really gets weak, and when it twangs, it's like elastic band when it twangs, that spasm. That's kind of what my body does. So that kind of happened. So it was a year of a really hard year. I lost the ability to walk. Didn't even know what was going on. I wasn't really in school.
And how did you feel? Because to go from doing
it was hard. Being 13, I was angry. Got really suicidal. Was I don't know what the point of life is anymore. It was really hard. Even now, I'm still why me? Why? I think I've accepted it, but probably haven't. But at the time, I didn't, and it was just hard. I lost all my friends because it was just going into year 8, so just a new school. I only knew these people for a year, and then kind of lost them, and that was really, really hard to deal with. And also at the time, my mum then gave me the attention. My whole life I never had any because of my sister. So that was really weird dynamic in the family to change. And then as school was going, I was in and out of school for 5 years. I missed about 5 years of education. And then in year 10, there was a trip to go to India, and I was that's what I want to do. I want to go to India. And all my family
Why was that trip important to you?
Because it's the trip that it was. So it was it was a whole month in India to go see things, to go to New Delhi and look around, and then do a week of volunteering, which has always been important to me. I've always done stuff even when I was ill. And then a week trekking in the Himalayas. And I was that's what I want to do. And my parents what? At the time, I was still on crutches, couldn't walk up the stairs. And they're Sophie, how you can do this? I was I know, I'm going to do it. And the school was you haven't been at school, we're not going to let you on this trip unless you pick up your grades and sort yourself out. And I was okay. So the determination was just there. I was right, the last 5 years of my life can't limit me to this. This is not what it's going to be. So I did my GCSEs in 6 months. I was doing it. Yeah, it was hard. And everyone was you're not going to get above a C. And I'm yeah, I will. Just stop telling me I can't. I think even now, when people tell me I can't do something, it makes me work harder. But sometimes I want people to be you can't do it, because then I'll get the motivation to do stuff. Yeah, it was a really, really hard year. I was coming back into school and learning friends again, and then learning how to go up the stairs, and it was so painful because my hip just kept popping out every time I did a stair, and I was don't know how I'm going to do this. It was £3,000 to get to India as well, so I had to fundraise that at the time. So then got the GCSEs, got it done, and then India came, and the night before, I was stressed out, crying, what am I doing? What am I doing? I so can't do this. and then was on the plane, and I've never been anywhere, so it's like, because of my sister, like, couldn't travel anywhere, so, like, as a child, like, my mum had this rule, you can't take one without the other, and my sister can't go on aeroplanes. So yeah, so I was like, no, I'm going to do India. The first night in Delhi, the most overwhelming thing I've ever experienced. It was so busy, so the colours and noise, I was like, and I remember...
I've never been to describe what it's like.
I don't even know. Yeah, there's just like, the roads in itself, like there's like 3 lanes, but there's like 7 cars over the lanes, and it's just like, I'm gonna die just in a car. Like, it was just craziness, and it was amazing. And then it was fine. We didn't like go to like a nice luxury hotel. It was like right in the middle of like where kind of all the travellers go, like the hostel. Yeah, so the first day was just so overwhelming, and I was like sitting in my room being like, what am I doing? Like rocking myself, like this is crazy. And then we went up to Leh, which is like right at the top of it, like in the Ladakh district. And like you just got off the plane and you're just surrounded by mountains, struggling to breathe because it's so high up. And it did just take your breath away, and it was just incredible. And I was like, right. And it was so different to like Delhi. It wasn't as busy, wasn't as crazy. Just the feeling I had when I was there, I was just happy. It was just like profoundly happy. And then we did the trek first, and I was like, right, okay, here we go. So everyone else kind of struggled, but I was okay. The first we went up this massive mountain, and we got up to the top, and just this view, it was amazing. And then as we just kept, like, we slept in the tent for the first night, and as we kept going, it was a 5-day trek. I struggled for 5 days. No one held my bag. I wouldn't let them. Like, I pushed myself. Like, I was always, there was 9 of us. I was always the top, like, 3. I wouldn't let anyone, and just kept going. Like, just, I don't know, when you're walking, it's just like, you're just walking, you're just there with your own thoughts. And the whole time I was like, this is just so crazy and so amazing. And where I was, like, 5 years ago and a year ago and whatever, like, it's just... like this incredible moment. And like, I remember standing at the top being like, I don't know how I did it. And then we had to rush off because my friend had altitude sickness, and her head was like starting to swell, so we literally had to get off. And then I was just like, we were dancing and just chilling while everyone else was being ill, because we were like, we've done it, like we've climbed the path, like it's amazing, like this incredible like thing that we've done. And I was so proud of myself, like, I couldn't believe it. And then like 4 hours in the cold, kind of waiting for everything to happen, and then my body was like, nope, I want some attention. So I had a massive like spasm for 4 hours, and it was just like my body was like shaking uncontrollably, and everyone's trying to like, this at the time was like when I had spasms. I now have seizures, and now it gets more complicated, but like spasms, I can kind of, I'm not like unconscious, I'm around, so I can kind of know what's going on. People trying to make me laugh to like take away from the pain, and my leader at the time hadn't seen me like this. He was like, how did I let you come here? Like, what is this? I can't believe you like managed to get on this trip and like not really tell us what was happening. I'm like, no, like I told you, but like I'm really good at like not showing it. Like every day when I was like in pain, I was like, nah, like we're gonna do it, we're just gonna keep going. So we got carried down even further to set up camp, and then like the next day I had to go on a horseback ride. It was an 8-hour descent because we had to get off really quickly because of me, and I was on a horseback. So, and then we had like a massive river crossing, and I was still on this horse, and I was like, oh, this is great fun. It was like rapids and everything. But we got down, and it was all great. Yeah, that was the trek. So it was a good trek.
So what's the moral of the story?
Resilience and pushing yourself even when you really shouldn't. Or you can. After India, I was in bed for like a month. Like, I killed myself. Like, it was ridiculous. My mum.
Was it worth it though?
Oh, of course. Like, I want to go back in a heartbeat. Like, that's where I found myself. That's where I realised that I can do anything. Like, I can push myself.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Good, thank you.
Do you feel like I know you better now?
Yeah, me too.
For more stories like this, click subscribe. You've been listening to Stories for Cigarettes.